the second term would have an R of 1, and so on all the way up until you get to the last, the number of terms possible. And that's how you could use this. So it says, use the binomial expansion to find this. Now remember from Pascal's, the values were 1, 3, 3, 1. Now that's where the values were. But now what we can do is so say, okay, if I want to find the first term, I'm going to do NCR, comma, I have a total of 3 terms, and the first term is going to be 0. And then we'll multiply this times 2 cubed, because the first one's usually, unless it's like a real world situation like we just saw, you subtract, times the second coefficient, which is 3 to the 0 power. We'll type this in and we'll press enter. And then we'll do the same thing for each term. The next term will be comma 1, and so this would be 2, and you subtract, so it would be to the second power. And we'll do 1, whoops, not 1, I'm sorry, 3 to the first power, and we'll see what that equals, and then we'll do it again in CR, and we'll have to do this time and once more after. This time it would be 2 to the first power times 3 squared, and then finally the last one would be 3 comma 3, and I'm getting these terms from here and here, so it would be 2 to the 0 power times 3 to the third power. When we type these in the calculator, we'll get our values all the way across. So I come over here. I'm going to go NCR, R, and this time I'm going to say 3 comma 0 times 2 to the third power times 3 to the 0 power. Now, a lot of this, you can, if you know what these equal, like 3 to 0 is 1, this is 8, you could go be a lot quicker in typing these in if you know your values. If you don't know what you're equaling, you're just going to have to type them in one by one like I am. So each time we change those 1 values, and so we're going to go through all this. Now I'm going to pause it just for a second to type in the other ones. All right, now I typed them all in. So this gave me a coefficient of 8, this one's 36, this one's 54, and this one's 27. Now, how could we have gotten this with the Pascals? We knew the numbers were 1, 3, 3, 1. This would be 1 times 8, which is 8. This one would be 3, that's what the NCR would give me, 3 times 4 times 3. So 3 times 4 is 12, times 3 is 36. That's how it's getting these numbers. And how would you write your answer? Well, we have 8 to the power of, it's this one cubed, t cubed, and the u does not exist. Then you have 36, t squared, and u to the first power. All right, and then the next one would be 54. And we would say t u squared, and then plus 27 u cubed. That's how your answer would be written. And now we could do it again, except this time, when we write those out, we're going to have this is going to be tricky because we're going to have the b squared each time, and we'll have -2 in the parentheses. So if I start to write this out, I have 4 terms, so it'd be NCR, 4 comma 0, and then I'll have a is just the 1, so it won't ever matter if it's 1 to the whatever power. You can put that in there, but it won't ever change it. So I'm actually going to skip that part. And then what I will type in is -2, and this will start at the 0 power. And each time this would alternate up. Again, I should have 1 there to the 4th, but it won't really matter. And then we'll go all the way through, saying this would change to a 1, and this would now become -2 to the 1st, NCR 4 comma 2. This would be -2 squared, NCR 4 comma 3 times -2 cubed, and finally the last one, NCR 4 comma 4 times -2 to the 4th. Now I'm actually going to use Pascal's here. On Pascal's we had the values 1, 4, 6, 4, 1. That was for row 4. I think that's quicker. So this is saying 1 times, this is 1, is going to give me 1 here. In this one, I would have 4 times -2, which is going to be -8. The next one would be 6 times, this is +4, so 24. Here, I would have 4 times, this will be -8, so I'd have -32. And finally, the last one, I have a 1 times +16. So these are my values. So just to write it out, it would be 1 a to the 4th power, and then I would have a -8, so let me erase this, -8 a to the 3rd, but it's b squared to the 1st. So this is what's tricky here, is this is like b squared to the 1st as well. So it would be just b squared. The next one, what's going to happen is we'll have b squared to the 2nd power. So I'd have 24 a squared. B squared squared is simply b to the 4th. You can see the b's are doubling in their values each time now. That's going to need to be a -32, a, b to the 6th, and finally plus 16. The a is gone, b to the 8th. That would be my answer there. All right, I got one for you to try. See if you can come up with your answer.